Hello, good evening, happy Sunday. Welcome to another Euphoria Aftershow recap.
Yes. Welcome back, everyone. It's been a week, and this episode has been a doozy. I think I say that every week.
Yeah, but this one is for real this time. This was the biggest, dooziest of them all. My gosh. I think anyone who's watching this right now, um, just let us know what your emotions are, what your reaction is right off the bat, because I think that we're going to have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. So as I think we mentioned last episode that we were halfway through, now we're seeing the finish line. It's there. I don't know how they're going to wrap this up in 3 more episodes. I feel like Rue's spiral is just insane.
My God.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I did see quickly that she posted, not Ru, well, Zendaya posted on Twitter, or on Twitter, probably on Instagram, that was where I saw this caption that was asking for grace for her character and just saying, hey guys, listen, I know Rue is really unlikable this season. I know that she's making terrible decisions, but this is this character that's flawed, and I hope to see more flawed characters represented on TV, because that's, most people do have flaws, if not everyone. And so the fact that she's aware of it and is hoping people will still support Rue, knowing that there's so much chaos going on in her life right now, is kind of interesting to see someone really care about her character so much that she's wanting this to be, yeah, just everyone give Rue a shot, give her a chance.
Well, we still have 3 more episodes in this season to see what sort of madness she will go through. I think we can only just hold our breath and watch. So, yeah, this is episode 5. The title name is, well, actually, before we get into this, let's just give a quick introduction. Obviously, if you're joining us here for a few times, you'll know my name's Ryan. This is my sister Morgan. We're part of the Hollywood Critics Association. We do the after show recap for Euphoria, and it's been wild. Yeah, we both run a movie review site called Cinemacy, where we cover indie and art house movies. Go check us out on our socials at Cinemacy. And before we begin, one last order of business. Today's sponsor was in part brought to you by the Happy Labs, which is a CBD company based out of Manhattan Beach, California. They make CBD products with no THC. They have all sorts of things that will help give you a sort of restorative, restful, relaxing sensation. And I've taken them before. I regularly take CBD. I'm a big proponent of it as well. I think you are as well, Morg. So yeah, if you guys are interested, check out thehappylabs.com. Use promo code HCA for 20% off any order. And now, getting into episode 5, Stand Still Like the Hummingbird. What does that title make you think of?
Okay, well, I actually have a thought as
That's what we're here for.
that's why we're here, I guess. So maybe I'll get into it a little bit later, but I will say, as this kind of came to me after the episode, as I was quickly jotting down my thoughts of just like, what did I just see? This is insane. So Rue in this episode is like a cat with 9 lives, literally jumping off walls, cars, apartments, you name it. She's
running away from a lot of dogs too, so maybe there is
a lot of dogs. Exactly. I loved the number of dogs in this episode, by the way. Jumping off of everything in her Converse and hitting the pavement and still going, and like, go girl, good for you. But I noticed that throughout the episode. And then towards the end, when she gets in Lori's house and she's stuck and trapped, she's like a bird in a cage, seeing,
right.
these birds and parrots, whatever, in Lori's house. Literally, like that's the metaphor there. But cats and birds are mortal enemies, right? They
True.
don't get along. And I was thinking, wow, this is a really interesting dynamic of having Rue as this cat-like character and the watchful birds keeping her trapped in a way. And these known predator prey is kind of flipped the script a bit, where Rue is the prey.
Right, right. I'm following. Well, she's both, and I feel like no, I think there's something there. You know, I feel like there. And when you said like the mortal enemy, if she's both the cat and the bird, then it's like is an enemy to herself. Like she is just self perpetuating this dynamic. So
Exactly.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the title, I mean, calling it back to the bird, it's like, oh, well, this interesting.
Right, right. Yeah, I like that. All right. Let us know what you think about Morgan's theory in the comments. So I wrote down, just to start off, you know, every time that we've reviewed Euphoria, I think up until this episode, it's been fun. Dare I say? It's been fun to recap the characters that we love, to follow along where they're at in their journey. Of course, we've seen a lot of highs and lows. This episode was not fun.
Oh,
And I
no.
say that with a lot of labored, you know, we all just went through something, and this was a tough one to watch. This was hard to get through because this is the come down. This is not the party. This is where Rue is completely spun out. We've seen her enter rehab before. We've seen her get clean, but this is that there's no coming back from this one this time. And
Oh,
this was tough.
yeah. This was really tough. I will say I really appreciated seeing Rue have some sort of emotion. Like for this whole season up until this point, she's been so checked out and just kind of going with the flow and floating along while she's hurting the feelings of so many other people, especially his sister, who Storm Reed as Gia is phenomenal. Like, give this girl Best Supporting Actress, please. She deserves
shines.
it.
She does a lot with a little.
Yeah, but even Zendaya and Rue in this episode, the manic episodes, the depressive episodes, all taking place within 30 seconds. You know, it's a Jekyll and Hyde thing. But seeing her actually feel something was kind of reassuring. Like, okay, no, you are a person with feelings. You're not just this empty vessel that's walking through the school hallways all the time. So hard as it was nice to see her cry and emote.
Yeah, because she's just been numbing herself to the pain of course, she still can't get over the loss of her father. That is the driving factor, the heart of her her pain. And yeah, for all that she has been able to numb herself to, she hasn't been able to. Now it's just she's not able to hide from it any longer.
Right. Yeah. And it is funny that her mom finally kind of took a stand, at least from what we saw as the audience. I'm sure she's been there in the background, hoping and praying that Rue sees the light and gets help on her own. Clearly, or she thinks that she's sober.
Well, she thinks that she's sober. Yeah. I mean, at this point, Rue has been able to deceive all of those closest to her until she no longer can.
Yeah. Oh, well, what did you think then about her mom slapping her in the face? Would you have done that?
That whole opening sequence. I mean, here's how I'll also frame this conversation is that for as much as Euphoria has been the thrills, the excitement of seeing these kids that are doing, you know, Lord knows what, it's like, and we should also say that at this point, Euphoria is, you know, one of the top shows right now that everyone's talking about. It's like, did you see what happened tonight on Euphoria, last week on Euphoria?
Are watching Euphoria.
Our parents, mom and dad, if you're watching this recap, yeah, then, you know, Euphoria is happy to have you. And it's getting a lot of viewership. I think I saw that earlier this week that HBO said that season 2 viewership has grown 100% from season 1. So it's doubled its audience. It's already renewed for season 3. So who knows where things are going to go from here. So I guess all that to say that, you know, it's grown this audience of people that are enjoying it. But at this point now, we're seeing what happens with addiction. And addiction is a very sensitive, touchy subject, and it should be handled with, I like that you brought up that Zendaya, I guess, tweeted or said about her character, like, let's give her grace through this moment. of course, this is a fictional character, but I think the idea behind it is that addiction is a disease that is something that needs to be discussed very delicately, gently. I think it would be so wrong to judge any of these characters, or let's just say specifically Rue, for, I mean, she does deplorable shit in this episode. It's just, it grows one on top of the other. And it really sucks. And you can judge that, but the addiction itself, the heart of it, I think that is something that I think that we have different experiences with. Maybe we know people in our life, maybe we all battle, to a different degree with something like this. So yeah, this was a wake up call, I think, too. So having said that, thinking about the intro, the mother's trying to do everything she can. I think for the entirety of the episode, at the very end, she was still trying to find her. She's driving around. She goes to Lexi's house to try and find her, to get her to go to rehab. So she's still committed to her. So everything that she did in that first intro, that hugely wild opening, was still because she's committed and devoted to her. So sure. I think that hopefully she'll still be giving her that same commitment.
Yeah. Well, and when you love someone so much, you want them to love themselves too. And right. Seeing that Rue is not loving herself, clearly, must be so frustrating for a parent, especially having lost, her husband, her partner, knowing that's not what her husband would want for Rue, and just seeing her self-destruct. I can't even imagine what that would be like as a parent. So sure, like the slap, I think, is just this anger that she doesn't know what to do with. Like, please, for your own sake, help yourself. And it's easier said than done, for sure.
Yeah, and she's trying to, at one point, Rue basically confronts her, and the mom she says, "You don't scare me." And I was like, she doesn't scare you, because she scares me, because she was giving this dagger's eye glance that was just so unsettling and real crazy. Just that roller coaster of, where's the pills? Where's the suitcase? Mom, where is it? That was just really, riveting, but also smart how they showed that sequence of events where Rue at first thinks that she's just being found out that she's smoking pot. She gets mad at her sister. She said, "What, you told Mom that I started smoking pot to deal with my addiction?" And then we realize, oh no, the mom and the daughter, her sister, know that she has that huge suitcase full of pills. And then once that is exposed, she's starts freaking out. Very legitimately.
So I will say, when that whole thing was taking place, I was sitting here watching it, obviously, and it got really quiet in my apartment. And right when I heard Jules from the other room say, "We flushed him down the toilet," my stomach went like, oh my God, what? Knowing that Rue is fucked.
Was it Jules or Gia who said that? Wasn't it Gia, or was it Jules who said that?
From the other room. It was, well, it doesn't really matter. The fact that someone said that the pills were gone, essentially, and Rue is now on the hook. Of course, Rue hasn't told anyone who these where they came from or anything. Right. So they're just completely in the dark. Probably just, how did you get so many pills?
Right.
But knowing that she's now in debt to Lori, I had a physical reaction in my stomach.
Was your stomach as queasy as Rue's was when she was getting through this episode?
Yeah. Totally.
Okay. In the comments, it was clarified. It was Jules who said that. And let's also, bring up the fact that Jules was there. That was an incredible twist that the mom said, you just told Jules all this herself, and walks into the living room. So as if it couldn't get worse. Now she has a bounty on her head, which, quick little note on that, I didn't think that the episode or Rue properly even conveyed to the degree of when she realized, or when she was looking for the suitcase. I felt like at that point she should have, that it could have gotten to be more like, oh no, you don't understand. I need them because I will will literally be, hunted down and killed, and your life is at stake and mine is too. It's just still like, where is the pills? And she's not thinking about it from the like, oh shoot, I just lost like $20,000 worth of money and her
Well, that's
danger.
too logical. In that moment for Rue, she's like, "Oh my God, I just need something to get by so I can start thinking clearly again." She
Sure.
wasn't even at that logical point yet. So that's what's so like, oh my God, you don't know what's coming. Like you see it, but you are avoiding it for now because you are having withdrawals and you just need a quick fix before you can tackle the big problem of, oh shit, I owe this woman thousands of dollars. Where am I going to get that from? Yeah, it's too much.
Terrifying. So
Yeah.
then we do have Jules enter the scene as well. Just the shit keeps piling up, and at this point it becomes Rue and Jules, and Jules has told her mom about her being on drugs, and of course it was Elliot who told Jules, so it's this whole thing, and he's there too. Can you believe it was just one episode ago where they had that romantic that montage of Rue and Jules through all of cinema's finest movies, Titanic, Brokeback Mountain, So in Love, and at this point Rue ends things saying that Jules is dead to her.
Yeah.
Thoughts? Tough.
Yeah, and just the fact that Jules sat there and tried to be strong, and you can see her eyes are just watering, and she's trying to be supportive, knowing that's the addict talking, that's not actually Rue. Oh, but some of the things Rue said was just so nasty and awful. I'm like, can you ever get past that?
I mean, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because the things that Rue is saying in this whole episode is just truly evil. It's truly, what is the most destructive thing that I could say to a person? And of course it stems from where she's at. She is just full of rage. She can't contain the rage anymore. And I don't know how you can come back from that. How, if you're Jules, I mean, at this point, do you think that she still does love her in the same way, or is it's a different Rue now?
Yeah, I feel like the love is stronger in a way. Maybe not in the romantic sense right now. I think that's maybe been reined in. I think it's more of a not caretaker, but just more maternal relationship of, I just need to make sure you're okay. That's first order of business. Please don't kill yourself.
Right.
Yeah. Because I don't think someone can shut off their emotion that quickly and easily. No matter how many horrible things are said, I think there's still something there though that's like, oh, but remember the memories, remember the good times, like I loved you once and this is why, and the fact that you're acting out is just frustrating me and making me like completely devastated, but I can't just shed the love I have for you in an instant. But we'll see. I mean, we have a couple more episodes. Maybe Jules will realize like, I can't go through this. This is not worth it. I found a guy who was honest with me and likes me for who I am. And so, yeah, we'll see.
True. And speaking of Elliot, seems like this decision weighed super heavy on him. I have some thoughts as to where his character's headed. I feel like this was a big turning point. He feels terrible for basically ratting her out for spilling the secrets, even though he was doing it for her best interest. He has this moment where he says, maybe it's not my place. Maybe I shouldn't have said anything. And he's an addict too. How is he going to deal with this whole thing blowing up as well? Oh man, that whole intro was just crazy. I thought that they expertly managed the ruse, the level of rage, crazy mania, dipping down into the emotional sobbing breakdown, I'm so sorry, and then ramping right back up when the emotion was just as tense. I thought that was just so good. And I kept waiting for the title credits to come on. I kept waiting for that Euphoria logo to, and I was just, the longer it played out and the longer it didn't come on, the more I was just arrested. And yeah, just gripping.
Yeah. Well, and this whole episode was just nonstop. She must be exhausted.
Yeah, I wrote a note saying that like her athletic ability in this episode is unmatched.
Yeah,
Winter Games, sponsored by Rue.
totally. So she I mean, she essentially just runs around town all night.
Yeah, I mean the fact that she gets
Froggers across the road.
Yeah, and like 2 different Frogger sequences. The one where she gets into the car thinking she's going just to the ER, and then that's the first time she dips out the car and runs through traffic. And I was, it's like in the middle of daylight, and it's like, oh, be careful. And she jets later in the episode, of course, it's just that times 100. And you see the effects of devastation that her choices are making. But yeah, my God.
Yeah. Oh, so I don't know what was worse though. So many terrible things happened in this episode, but Rue outing Cassie. I was like, oh no.
So yes, there was a few other tangential things that happened, and we got that out in the open now. The dirty laundry has been aired.
And immediately the air was sucked out of the room. Everyone, I mean, Maddie, she had a small role. Obviously, all supporting characters had a small role this episode, but what they gave was so good and so memorable. And Cassie just smiling, laughing, crying at the same time, just like, please don't listen to her. It was so uncomfortable.
Right.
Especially knowing your mom was in the room and someone saying you messed with your best friend's ex-boyfriend. The whole thing was very messy.
Absolutely. And this touches right back on what is Rue going to say to the people to make them what's the most destructive thing that she can say or do, because she's on a warpath. She is literally a Tasmanian devil right now. And she is just, what can she do to inflict as much pain on others as she's feeling now? But let me ask you this. So this finally did come out that Cassie has been hooking up with Nate, and it was a shocking moment. Didn't realize it was going to happen like this.
Yeah.
However, this didn't live up to the imagination, to what Cassie was imagining Maddie would do, at least right off the bat. I think it was a couple episodes ago where she was thinking about, there was that hilarious montage of Maddie like slamming girls' heads into like lockers or like fellow students. I say hilarious because the comedy is that she is so aggressive and so violent and in her skills. Yeah, but I'll be honest, I didn't think that, short of the information coming out, I didn't think that it was actually that climactic of a reveal. Like, what really happens, it comes out and Maddie kind of just says, I didn't think it was that strong of writing from Maddie's character to really do anything. And they like just run up the stairs and that's essentially it. I know we'll come back to it, but I thought it would have been a stronger choice if something bigger happened there and Rue didn't just run away and they just didn't run up the stairs. I was a little shortchanged by that reveal, to be completely honest. I thought that Cassie and Sydney Sweeney, her performance was the best part in that whole scene where she finally is having the hyperventilating nervous laughter and trying to not acknowledge it. But let me know, what did you think? I was a little shortchanged.
Yeah, true. I thought more would happen. I also was thinking, okay, you run up the stairs, then what? Like, you're trapped up there unless Cassie jumps out the window into the pool and swims away.
Well, we see, lengths that people will go to get out of their circumstances.
Out of the question, she might. But it feels like, okay, you've trapped yourself. Is Maddie just gonna beat you up? And then, it felt like a dead end. And I get that it came out at the time when it did in the script to make it more heightened and just Rue's destruction. She's, ruining relationships and doesn't care. Just she gets what she wants.
Ruining. Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a bit of a letdown because we didn't see what actually happened. We didn't see what Maddie does to Cassie, unless it's going to be like psychological warfare for the next couple of episodes.
Oh yeah, I think that they'll definitely come back with a stronger focus on that whole storyline. It just in this moment, I thought I would have appreciated if Maddie would to have blown up even more or even played it a different way. Maybe this is something that she's actually hurt by. Maybe it's not the same just typical rage. I'm outraged by my best friend cheating with my ex-boyfriend. Maybe it's actually sadness because they're still young people and that's hurtful. And I don't know. I thought that could have been handled a little differently, but so goes Rue into the night. And well, actually, before we move away from the house, this was like the moment where I wrote to myself as a note, like, Lexi and Rue are friends, question mark. Like Rue goes to Lexi's house as like, hey, can I, how are you doing? Oh, you don't look so good. But in like, what world are they truly friends?
Well, they've been friends for a long time. They've been childhood friends.
Yeah.
It's one of those relationships that if fostered could be a great relationship and a good back and forth and a positive relationship. But Rue has been using Lexi when she needs help. And that's kind of been their relationship, their dynamic for this season, and probably I think for the first one too. That's never been like a healthy relationship that we've seen.
Right.
But I know they've been family friends and childhood friends forever.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, let's just see what happens in Lexi's play.
She was sorry, my neighbor was playing music, so I had to move my mic. But it was funny how, Lexi's like, well, don't get me sick. I have a play. It's like, oh, you're still on.
I was actually very happy that we didn't get any mention of that. And I was thinking, like, I don't know how the high school play is going to pale in comparison to this episode.
Well, I have a prediction. I'm going to skip ahead. That's going to be the season finale, is the play.
You think so?
You're going to hate it.
Yeah, maybe. I just think it's a little hokey. But I also can't wait to see if Lexi is also taking this as inspiration for her play and it's going to write a Rue-like character that is going to be jumping across the prosceniums and doing ballet twirls. Who knows? West Side Story style.
Yeah, Spider-Man, go full circle.
Yeah, true. Yeah, this was great to see her finally, jumping over buildings and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So she's on a warpath. She goes from the Howards to, I would love to see just like a map of Rue, like where she started and where she ends, like in this city. That would be so funny, just like this dotted line. But then she goes to Fez's, I think is next. And then I love throughout how the whole episode, it's also showing what a person who's going through withdrawals would be going through. She's in pain. It's her pancreas or her stomach or whatever. And she's also just yawning uncontrollably. She's just as like so tired
and sweaty,
not a good look. Yeah. So then she ends up at Fez's, and Fez has always been, or I guess she goes to his place. He's not there. Then she goes to Lexi's. And then, you know what? No, then I think that what was it? She breaks into the house, right? So after Lexi's, she goes from the Howard's house to, she just looks across the street, that like douchey guy and the girl are going to some party. And, we kind of get that like little smirky eyebrow raise, like, like perfect. Yeah. And she breaks into the house. Like, at this point, this is where, I mean, she swipes some of the jewelry from Lexi's mom, but at this point, this is where like the roller coaster is like tick, 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 tick. And she's now truly breaking the law. She breaks into the house and we get a fantastic needle drop moment. We get Sharon Cash's Fever drop in here, which played great.
Yeah.
And
You
Rue's first
recognize the wife
from from the house that she
Yeah.
breaks into.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of did. She looked like a model or something.
Yeah, Jesse Andrews, who was an adult film star, who now does like jewelry and
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm.
Which I think
I clearly I couldn't recall in this moment. Perhaps I've come across her work otherwise.
No, it's funny because I only bring that up because Sam Levinson found Faye on Instagram, who is and was an adult entertainment
Former, yeah.
actress. Yeah, former. And Jesse Andrews, same. And her role is really small, but I wonder if that was intentional to kind of have those, that type of character kind of sprinkled in throughout the season.
Interesting.
But she was great. Yeah.
Direct casting through the DMs. I feel like that's the Sean Baker way of doing it too. Like he finds his Florida project and Red Rocket. He'll just find them through Instagram. So
yeah,
hey, who needs IMDb anymore? You can just have well curated page. So then, yeah, Rue breaks into the house and starts swiping a bunch of stuff. Classic password 1111.
Yeah,
Everyone, change your passwords right now.
Yeah. So I thought maybe a dog would be there or something. I thought maybe it was going to be a camera that caught her, but I guess that's not as fun as having a giant drooly dog. So that was Howard, who sat on her lap. I loved that so much.
Yeah, I was thinking, you know, is she gonna like jump out the window right now? I was thinking that they would have gotten to that point, but yeah, what does Howard do but walks over to her and just sits on her lap? And that's like, feel like it shows that there's still like a bit of Rue that has like a heart of purity too. Like dogs can sense evil and true danger, but she's still just a high school fiending kid right now. But yeah, shout out to Howard. And then the the guy and the Jesse Andrews come back, and she immediately realizes that her jewelry's gone. She thinks that they've been robbed. They have. I like how she's hiding under the bed, and he just looks under the bed, and he sees her. Like in so many other, in that moment, I was thinking, how is she gonna get out of this one? Like, there's no way that he can see her, but like, no, this is just reality. He looks under the bed, and he's like, Jesus Christ. And she just runs out.
Manages to go down the stairs and run out the front door.
Yeah, not being pursued. No Howard pursuing. So she escapes.
Jewelry. They didn't get it back from her somehow.
No.
So.
And so this is, I think there's throughout this whole journey is Rue narrowly making it from one point to the next. She narrowly makes it when the garage door is closing. She narrowly makes it when she's leaving Lori's like, you know, hummingbird compound thing. And it's all these little moments of just narrowly escaping. So then this leads to Rue's run-in with the cops. Man, that, yeah. So I love how she's just holding back the
very Ferris Bueller sort of.
I was thinking that too. Super Ferris Bueller. I was just waiting for
the dark.
The
worst high school thing you could, or the worst thing you could do in high school in the Ferris Bueller world is skip school for a day, call out sick. This Euphoria Ferris Bueller is very dark.
Yep, absolutely. So the police stop her. We got to run her. And she's then being pursued. She's jumping over rooftops. She's running through all of these. We see the community around her, which was hilarious to just see these random people of all walks of life. There's some guy who's watching wrestling, and he might be, I don't know, it's like sketchy dude, and she runs through a quinceanera, smashes through, you know, breaks, topples the cake, and the
Yeah,
guy who's
the glass
painting
table at the
smashes, yeah, onto the glass table, and then jumping off of the barbecue with the fire like set ablaze. Like the stunts in this episode were nuts. So, what was your favorite? Um, I'll just ask you this because I'm thinking about it right now. What was your favorite like part in that sequence of her running away?
You know what I really liked? Okay, so I liked the part towards the end of the whole chase scene where she's running and jumps on top of the cop car, like runs on the hood of the car, just as kind of like a fuck you to the cop.
Right.
I'm just
Yeah.
in your car. You can't catch me.
Yeah.
I hated that for Rue, but I loved that stylistically. Like, oh, this is really cool.
Yeah, it's just another car. It's just another thing to her. I just reading the comments that yes, Fez does. They do go to Fez's house prior to this whole pursuit happening. So thank you, Melina, for adding that there. I think my favorite part of the pursuit was when she's jumping off of the barbecue and the flames just erupt. She jumps over the fence.
Yeah.
That to me was hilarious. I just loved that, like the timing of that.
Yeah.
And that was crazy. And then it basically culminates with the Frogger style, her needing to get across the street. And really interesting because there's that one moment where she says, please God, I don't want to die. Like she says that, she vocalizes that, and yet so it's saying that she wants to still live, essentially, even though all this stuff has just happened. She wants to live, and she goes with God and goes through the street and survives.
Yeah. Well, it's been said that a lot of people who have dark thoughts and have contemplated things and have survived certain scenarios have said that in those moments right before they did any sort of act, they regretted it. They're like, oh, I actually don't want to do this. And I think
Right.
Rue at that point was realizing, oh, as terrible as this is, like I don't want to die, because that's a hard thing to fully comprehend. And it's good to know as an audience member watching this, like, okay, no, Rue, there is some fight in her still. Like, we're not just watching someone self-destruct and be miserable, because that would be not a fun watch. But there's something there where she wants to live. I mean, she said it. So I think that was a good thing to hear. The fact that she still ran across the street was terrifying. The fact that the massive car crash behind her was terrifying.
God, the warpath behind her is just, I wonder if all of this is going to be like tallied up onto like a criminal record of hers. Like, okay, and so that was $200 for the quinceanera cake and $5,000 for the glass table you broke. And I would love to see what that damage report would total out to be.
Yeah.
Just for the heck of it.
Just for the heck of it.
Yeah.
So, well, let's talk about Fez quickly.
Yeah.
And the fact that he didn't cave and didn't allow her to use him. And he showed tough love, which Rue responds to. And good for him for doing that, for kicking her out. I know it was probably really hard for someone to be put in that position of, you care about this person. Clearly they're not well. But the best thing you can do for them in that moment is kick them out of your house and say, sorry, you can't be here right now.
Yeah, and he doesn't take shit, from anyone.
No, of course. And he's done that before with Rue. It's not like this is the first time he stood up for himself, but it was good to see that. I mean, bad for Rue, because now she's really isolating herself from everyone.
Oh, everyone. Yeah,
Literally.
it's scorched earth. And yeah, what does he say? That it's the principle of it. So he's a guy with principles. He doesn't even let her have a few of Faye's pills, whatever they are. He says it's the principle of it. So kicks her out, and and it's just one more bridge that she's burned. I will say for the comments section, we are brother and sister, and we are very happy that all of you guys have all joined us for this Euphoria recap. So then, yeah.
Fun. Why not?
So then what happens after the pursuit? She pops out of a trash can, just like super comical.
Yeah.
It's hilarious that she just pops up. It's like I don't know, Bugs Bunny or something like that. To me, it's what I thought. And if that's not the most accurate representation of where she's at in life,
oh, totally.
Then that's
out of a trash can. Yeah. Ugh. Well, let's just jump ahead to Lori's because we are almost in time for our category section. But she gets to Lori's, jewelry in hand,
and not looking good. Like at this point, looking just real bad.
Yeah, looking wrecked. And I didn't know why she was going to Lori's initially. I thought, like, oh, do you really have no one? You're going to this woman who you lost her drugs. Like, why would you ever show your face here? Like, I would just start moving across town, like out of state or something.
Yeah, true. Kind of curious.
Yeah. And obviously Lori is such a funny character. She's very, the monotone maternal figure in a way, making sure that Rue is taken care of in a very sick way of injecting her with morphine. And that, I think, is the beginning of the end.
Well, yeah, that's what I thought too. It was only that she was taking care of her only because she still needs to get her money. And I didn't think there was anything of the sort of like, oh, I'm going to go. I really want to take care of you. I really want you to feel better just out of the purity of my heart. She's a businesswoman. She is a sociopath. And for all intents and purposes, it's hilarious that that you can't read what she's thinking. That's been her character this whole time because of her flat, monotonous delivery. And I like that there's a little backstory. She shares to Rue that she used to be a school athlete until she was injured, and then she got hooked on Oxycontin. And you can only imagine that that's what just flattened her out completely. And what does Lori say? She says, "I don't think I've ever gotten angry in my entire life."
Yeah.
She goes, and she has that moment of pause, like, I don't know have I? No, I don't think I have.
Yeah, that was so good. As she's wearing Crocs and just the fridge covered in magnets. I'm like, that's a good production design little.
Yeah. Birds everywhere.
Birds everywhere. I picture it so musty and so just crowded with stuff. And that was just a nice touch. But yeah, so Rue finds herself when she wakes up from the
morphine hit, which is the first time that she's now injected, which was crazy. She wakes up, but when she has that morphine hit, it's that whole beautiful montage of the bath and the funeral that was the most that we were able to see where we left reality and we saw what Euphoria does so well, which is make beautiful montages. Rue is at the funeral. She's having to speak over her deceased dad, and it's cutting between her and the baby in the bath and her sister. So many emotions there.
Yeah. I mean, it's touching. And like I was saying earlier, this is the episode where we see Rue in touch with her emotions. And this, is just another example of that. But yeah, like finds herself trapped like a bird in a cage in Lori's house, can't get out, manages to somehow get out of the bathroom window, jumps down off the second floor and makes a break for it. And
still in one piece, and she narrowly escapes through the closing gate, and she lives to tell the story for one more day. And the episode ends where she finally returned at the place where it all started. We hear the door open and close, and Mom asks if Rue has returned. We can only assume that is her going through the front door, and the episode ends.
Yeah, that's a good point. We can only assume that, huh?
We don't see it. It could be anyone. It could be the sister. I mean, I think that it could be an interesting reveal if the next episode starts and it's not her. But I think Rue, I mean, has no other place to go.
Right. Yeah. At this point, where would she go? She has no money. She's nothing. Ooh, what a doozy. Did I say that already?
Yeah, that's how we opened it. And that's how we're ending it as well. Because it is.
Exactly. Cool. Well, let's get to our very fun description categories. There we go. Do you want to start us off?
Sure. So recapping the recap, favorite moments. Did you have a favorite moment, a favorite scene, line, character? I think that the best drama was that opening sequence, the opening scene with just the best acting that I think has been on display in this whole season so far, I think was condensed. It certainly makes the case for that. The pursuit was wild and she got away, which is crazy, but
favorite. What's your favorite out of all of those things?
I think the intro was so different and so stark, just so gripping. The intro is my favorite part of the episode. How about you?
Yeah. Gosh, I really liked when Rue found herself trapped in Laurie's house. For some, I didn't expect that. I didn't see it coming. It also set up what's going to happen next now that Rue has lost Laurie's drugs and now she's escaped Laurie's house. Yep. How is she going to face her again? Like she's, like you said, has a bounty on her head in more ways than one now. So that scene I thought was really critical to just upping the ante of Rue being in deep shit.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So best needle drop moments of the episode. Not a lot of music in this one. Hardly any music. It was just here in the moment with Rue. It wasn't all these flourishes. It wasn't the cinema of episodes that we've seen in the past. There were a handful. Did you have a favorite song choice in the episode?
I did. And as soon as I heard it, I thought of you because I think you tried to Shazam this before and nothing was coming up. And you were even afterwards looking at the lyrics and we played the song over a few times. So it's the cop car chase scene.
Oh, I tried Shazamming that one again this time and I recognized it before. So they played it again, but you got it.
Do you want to know what it is?
Please. My white whale.
This artist, his name is Vic, Vicc, and the song's called Understand Me.
Okay.
His full name is Victor Lopez.
Okay.
So Understand Me by Vic.
Yeah, I fucking did it. Yeah, I fucking said it. Yeah,
that one.
Right on. Well, Vic, we love your song here. That was a banger, definitely.
Yeah. What about you? That
I love that song, and I love that is now a constant through this season. I like how they ended the episode this time. It Never Rains in Southern California by Albert Hammond, who, fun fact, Albert Hammond Jr. is the guitarist of The Strokes. So Albert Hammond Jr.'s dad, also a rocker, and wrote this song that I think just brought it all back down to a nice grounded place. And I love the song. So
nice. Cool.
So there we go. We have a most what the fuck moment, a most WTF moment of the episode. Was there just one for you? And if so, what was that moment?
Yeah, there was. I mean, the entire episode was that, but the one that really got me gasping and I had a body reaction was Jules from the other room saying, yeah, flushed him down the toilet. And
yep.
That just was, so I've said it once, but I'll say it again. That was
sure. It's
a moment.
Pure dread. You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of in Breaking Bad, where Walter White is looking for the money. It's like halfway through the whole series. And he's like, Skylar, the money, where's the money? And he's in the crawl space. And she goes like, I gave it to Ted or whatever. And Walter's like, what? And it's just all hope is lost, and that camera it does that iconic thing. So that's where it reminds me of Breaking Bad. And
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Spot on.
Rue maybe has to do the same here. Most WTF moments, when she shoots up the morphine was I think the hardest to see, because I now know where this is, like, she's creating this life for herself that's just so sad. And
And
Lori's line, what's that?
so dependent.
And that plays right into Lori's line where she says, what did she say? That, like, when I met you, I knew that you were going to be in my life. This girl's going to be in my life for a long time. And she's like helping her. She's like nurturing her in the bath. And I thought that, yeah, exactly. It was creating the dependency, padlocking her inside as well. I was like, oh my God, Lori is like an evil genius. She gets people hooked on her products and then has to then work for her. She even alludes to, well, you're lucky because you're a woman, and like you're able to also have ways of being able to sell yourself. And so she is just so messed up thinking that. But that was, in that moment, it made me so sad for all of the fun things that I had seen from Rue, dancing Rue with the cereal and the pillow. And in the last episode, she's like going down the hallway, or 2 episodes ago. And then finally making that doing the morphine, it just reminded me of like Requiem for a Dream. Like that's the last time that I was so visibly just distraught by looking at drug use in that way. So
Yeah.
I wasn't enjoying.
Trying to find a vein,
Oh God.
It was like a few pokes before she got in there. The blood.
Come on, Lori. If you're gonna do it, just get it over with.
Yeah, that was hard to watch for sure. That's probably up there too for me. that was intense.
Yeah.
But on to something lighter. What about a memeable moment? Any memeable moment?
It's got to be something with the pursuit, her jumping over a wall or onto a roof. I think that any moment you could probably cut. We were just mentioning Ferris Bueller earlier, like the hilarity of Ferris Bueller jumping over a roof into someone's backyard where there's a pool, and then Rue, like expectation versus reality, maybe something like that.
Good. Yeah,
right? Maybe
that's good. I like that.
How about you? Do you have any memeable moments coming out of this one?
Yeah, so I had one line that made me laugh out loud, and this was the one kind of comedic relief in the whole thing, was when Rue gets to Lexi and Cassie's house, and the mom's on the stairs with her alcohol, and she's like, "So are you in NA or AA?" And she's like,
Right.
NA. And the mom says, "I'm not a big fan of AA," as she's holding the messaging that I can picture.
Oh, right.
Someone just saying like, "I'm not a big fan of AA." Like, meh.
Right. I forgot about that line. Yeah, I like Lexi's mom coming in with like the comedy where she can. That was a great line. I forgot about that.
But it was also, yes. And what I really appreciated too was after she kind of has the small talk with Rue on the stairs, she comes down, passes Lexi, and says she's not okay. Like,
right. That was crucial.
That was very crucial. And it shows, like this mom, she's like the fun mom and drinks and with her kids and parties, but she also is aware enough to be like, this isn't okay. Like, something's wrong here. I'm going to be the adult for once and make some action, make some moves.
Right. Yeah. Great call. And finally, predictions for the next episode. So we are going on to episode 6 out of 8. That means we technically have 3 episodes left. And not a lot of runway left, but here we are with Rue, who has just scorched earth before her. Do you think that any of...
Oh no, you go. You go.
I was going to ask, do you think that any of these kids are ever going to like just be in class?
Yeah.
Like, you think that that could be a prediction of for the next episode? Like, I
Will they
have a feeling that Maddie's going to be in chemistry and get like a C plus on her chemistry test. Like,
right.
that would never. I can't. I don't even think they've ever shown them in a school in a classroom before. But what were you going to say?
What was I gonna say? Oh, it'll come back to me.
All right. Well,
it's fine.
Tweet it. Let us know. Drop it in the comments.
So here's a prediction.
Yeah.
I think in the next episode, Lori's goons are going to go after her.
Right. That one dude, that super creepy guy with like the farmer's tan tank top who like was walking around without pants like a couple episodes ago, that dude was weirdo.
What do we think about Nate's dad, Cal? Because he was absent. He kind of did his thing in the foyer, took a picture.
Yeah.
That child that Twitter has been like, who's this third kid in the photo?
We didn't even get to talk about, the thing that's been lighting up, all of these fan theories this whole week was that when Cal took the photo off of the wall last episode, there was a third son that hadn't been discussed. We don't know who this third son is or was, but eagle-eyed viewers did spot that. So I don't know. I don't know. Cal, I think that we're going to he'll come back, but I think he's going to maybe come back in a bit. And then when he does, he'll be like a totally changed person. Who knows? Maybe he's not even like, hulky sort of guy, cropped hair. Like maybe he is just comes back fully evil version, evil twin Cal.
Totally. I remembered my question to you.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
It's a simple one. Do you think Rue has finally hit her rock bottom?
That's a great question. Oof. I don't think this was it, even though she's racked up all of this terrible stuff that's following her. I don't think that she has experienced loss from someone closest to her that wasn't on her terms. I think that someone in her life is going to be severely, drastically affected, and it's going to be a wake-up call that she will have then been responsible for someone in her circle's life. We were talking about Elliot before, and he was her friend. Who knows what he's thinking right now, what his headspace is? Who knows, what any of these people's reactions are. So that's a great question. I don't think she has. And I'm scared of what that would even be. How about you? Flip that question. Do you think this is her?
I don't think so. I don't know what the rock bottom looks like. This is pretty close. I think she's touching it with her fingernails, but I don't think he's smacked into it yet.
Yeah, she's still able to like jump across rooftops and still get out, but until she's no longer able to do that, then there's more Euphoria to come.
Absolutely. And we need stuff for season 3. So
this is true. He just got renewed for season 3. Hopefully Rue is our, fearless protagonist through it all. We'll have to watch, but it certainly is just a riveting sensation. Everyone is just, enjoying. It's fantastic storytelling to show something like this so gripping. It feels real and authentic still, even for as wild as it's getting. It still feels, really watchable.
And it's very beautifully shot, and everything just works. It's visually stunning. So while it's hard to watch a lot of the time, it's pretty.
Yeah, that's well summed up. Thank you, everyone, for joining another week's edition of the Euphoria Aftershow presented by Hollywood Critics Association. My name is Ryan, along with my sister Morgan. It has been such a pleasure to be hanging with you guys. Loved reading everything in the comments that you guys are adding productive conversation to this. Continue to do that. Continue to keep the conversation going. in the comment section on Twitter. You can find us at Cinemacy Speaks on Twitter, at Cinemacy on Instagram. Follow the Hollywood Critics Association YouTube page for more. And until then, have a great week, and we will catch you next week with another episode of Euphoria.
All right. I'll be waiting.
All right. We'll be there. Bye.
Bye.